The girl's body hit the pavement at 3:17 in the afternoon, right there on Belmont Drive, where the mansions sit behind iron gates, and security cameras track every breath. She went down hard, knees first, then hands, then everything else just gave up like a marionette with cut strings. Mrs. Chen saw it from her gardening, dropped her shears and ran, but by the time she crossed the street, the girl wasn't moving, just lying there on the hot concrete. Summer in Pasadena doesn't forgive. The girl's lips were cracked and bleeding. Her clothes hung off her like they belonged to someone twice her size. Dirt caked under her fingernails, bruises up and down her arms in various stages of healing. Purple, yellow, green, she couldn't have been more than 19. Mrs. Chen knelt down, her knees protesting. "Honey, honey, can you hear me?" The girl's eyelids fluttered, her lips moved, barely a whisper. "Water." That's all she said. "Water." Mrs. Chen looked around. The street was empty. It always was. Rich people don't walk in Pasadena, they drive, and their cars have tinted windows that keep the world out. She pulled out her phone, started to dial 911. That's when the gate opened. The mansion directly across from where the girl had fallen, number 42, the biggest house on the block. Maybe the biggest house in the whole city. Everyone knew who lived there. Marcus Hale, billionaire, venture capitalist, the man who turned 3 failed startups into empires before he was 30. Now he was 46. Silver at his temples, sharp suits, sharper reputation. He didn't do interviews, didn't do charity galas, didn't do people. He stepped through the gate wearing running clothes, expensive ones. The kind that cost more than most people's rent. He had earbuds in, probably didn't even see them. But then he stopped, pulled one earbud out, looked down at the girl crumpled on his sidewalk. Mrs. Chen expected him to keep walking. Rich men like Marcus Hale didn't stop for broken things on the pavement. They stepped over them or around them, or they paid someone else to deal with them. But he didn't walk. He moved closer, stood there, staring. Mrs. Chen was about to say something when his face changed. The color drained right out of it. His hand went to his chest, like someone had shoved a knife between his ribs, and then Marcus Hale, billionaire, man of stone and silence, dropped to his knees, right there on the sidewalk. His hands were shaking when he reached for the girl's face. He touched her cheek. Gentle, like she might shatter. "No," he whispered, his voice cracked. "No, no, it can't be." Mrs. Chen didn't understand. She looked at the girl, looked at Marcus. Back to the girl. "Do you know her?" Marcus didn't answer. He scooped the girl up, all 100 pounds of her, lifted her like she weighed nothing, turned and carried her through his gate. Mrs. Chen stood there, phone still in her hand, watching the gate swing shut. She should have followed, should have demanded answers, should have called the police. But something in Marcus Hale's face stopped her. It wasn't fear, it was grief. The kind that comes from seeing a ghost inside the mansion. Marcus moved on autopilot, up the stairs, down the hall, into the guest room that overlooked the garden. He laid her on the bed, white sheets, soft pillows. Everything in this house was soft, expensive, empty. He grabbed his phone, dialed Dr. Parrish. "I need you at my house." Now, a pause on the other end. "I don't care if you're in surgery. Get someone to cover." Just get here." He hung up, looked down at the girl. She was breathing, shallow but steady. Her chest rose and fell, ribs showing through the thin fabric of her shirt. When was the last time she ate? Marcus went to the bathroom, grabbed a washcloth, ran it under cool water, came back and pressed it to her forehead. Her eyes opened, just a crack, blue, pale blue. She looked at him, no recognition, just confusion and fear. "You're safe," Marcus said. His voice didn't sound like his own. "Water," she whispered again. He nodded, went to the kitchen, filled a glass, came back, helped her sit up, just a little, held the glass to her lips. She drank too fast. He pulled it back, slowly. She looked at him, really looked. "I'm sorry," she said. Her voice was hoarse, broken. "I didn't mean to, I just needed." "Don't," Marcus said. "Don't apologize." She closed her eyes, tears slipped down her cheeks. "Cut clean tracks through the dirt. I didn't know where else to go," she whispered. And that's when Marcus saw it, around her neck. A chain, thin, silver, tarnished now, but he recognized it. He'd bought that chain 22 years ago from a jeweler in Boston, small shop. The owner had engraved the back of the locket that hung from it. Marcus reached out, hands still shaking, lifted the locket, opened it. Inside were 2 pictures, One was a woman, dark hair, bright smile, holding a baby. The other was him, 22 years younger, different life. Different person. The girl was watching him. You knew her, she said. It wasn't a question. Marcus couldn't speak. His throat had closed up. The girl's eyes were heavy. Exhaustion pulling her under. She told me. The girl whispered. She told me if I ever needed help to find you. Her eyes closed. She was asleep before Marcus could ask her name. He sat there, locket still in his hand. Dr. Parrish arrived 20 minutes later. A woman in her 50s, no nonsense. She'd been Marcus's personal physician for a decade. Knew when to ask questions and when to stay quiet. She examined the girl in silence, checked her pulse. Her breathing, looked at the bruises. Finally, she straightened. Dehydration, malnutrition, looks like she's been on the streets for a while. Maybe weeks, maybe longer. She paused. The bruises are old, different ages. Someone hit her, multiple times, over a long period. Marcus's jaw tightened. Will she be okay? Dr. Parrish nodded. Physically, yes. With rest and food and water, she'll recover. Emotionally, she shook her head. That's a different story. She looked at Marcus. Who is she? I don't know, Marcus said. It was the truth, and also a lie. Dr. Parrish didn't push. She left instructions, fluids, electrolytes, small meals, rest. Marcus sat in the chair by the window and watched the girl sleep. The locket was still in his hand. He hadn't opened it again. He didn't need to. He knew whose face was in that picture. Sarah. The name hit him like a train. Sarah Mitchell. 22 years ago, Boston. He was 24, broke. Working 3 jobs to fund a startup that would probably fail. She was a waitress, art student, smile that could light up a room. They had 6 months together, best 6 months of his life. And then she told him she was pregnant. He panicked. He was 24, sleeping on a friend's couch, eating ramen twice a day. He couldn't take care of a baby. He couldn't take care of himself, so he ran. Told himself it was the right thing, that she'd be better off without him, that he'd come back when he had money, when he had something to offer. He didn't come back. The startup took off. Then another. He got rich, built an empire, and never went back to Boston, never called, never checked. Told himself she'd moved on, found someone better, raised the baby with a good man who didn't run. Now here was a girl, 19, blue eyes, Sarah's smile. Wearing the locket he'd given Sarah the night before he left, and Marcus understood. Sarah hadn't moved on. Sarah hadn't found someone better, and this girl, sleeping in his guest room, covered in bruises and dirt, was his daughter. She woke up at 2 in the morning. Marcus was still in the chair. He hadn't slept. She sat up slowly, looked around. Her eyes landed on him. You're still here, she said. Where else would I be? She didn't answer, just pulled her knees to her chest, made herself small. What's your name? Marcus asked. She hesitated. Emma. Emma, he repeated. The name settled in his chest, heavy. Emma Mitchell. Her eyes widened, just a fraction. How did you? The locket, Marcus said. I gave it to your mother. Emma's hand went to her neck, protective. She's dead. Emma said, flat, emotionless, like she'd said it so many times the words didn't mean anything anymore. Marcus felt something crack inside him. When? 3 years ago, 3 years. Sarah had been dead for 3 years and he didn't know how. He managed. Cancer. Emma said, started in her lungs, spread everywhere. We didn't have insurance, couldn't afford treatment. She died in our apartment, just me and her. Marcus couldn't breathe. You were 16. Emma nodded. What happened after? Emma looked away. Foster care. I got placed with a family in Riverside, the Carters. They seemed nice at first. She stopped. Marcus waited. Mr. Carter drank. Emma said quietly. When he drank, he got mean. Mrs. Carter didn't stop him. She just left the room. The bruises. Marcus understood. I ran away 4 months ago. Emma continued. Took a bus as far as the money would go. Ended up here. Been sleeping in parks, under bridges, anywhere I could find. Why didn't you come here sooner? Marcus asked. Emma looked at him. My mom told me about you, said you lived in California, said you were rich, important, but she also said she trailed off. What did she say? That you didn't want us? The words landed like bullets. Marcus closed his eyes. She was wrong, he said. Was she? Emma's voice was sharp now. You left. She was pregnant and you left. She worked 2 jobs her whole life. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with broken heat. She got sick because she couldn't afford to see a doctor, and you were here in your mansion, with your money. She stood up. I didn't come here for you. I came here because I had nowhere else to go. Because I've been on the streets for 4 months and I'm tired. So tired. Her voice broke. I just wanted to see, just once. See the man my mom loved, the man who left her. Tears were streaming down her face now, and you know what? She still loved you even after everything. She kept your picture, told me stories, said you were good, said you were just scared. Emma laughed, bitter. She made excuses for you until the day she died. Marcus stood, crossed the room. Emma flinched. He stopped, held up his hands. I'm not going to hurt you, he said. Everyone hurts me. Emma whispered, not anymore. Marcus's voice was steady now. You're right, I left. I was 24 and scared and selfish. I told myself I'd come back. I didn't. That's on me. I can't change it. I can't fix it. He took a breath. But I'm here now, and you're my daughter, and I'm not running anymore. Emma stared at him. You don't even know me. Then let me. She shook her head. I don't need your guilt. I don't need your money. I just needed water. That's all. I'll leave in the morning. No, you can't stop me. You're right. Marcus said I can't. But I'm asking you to stay. Why? Because I owe your mother, and I owe you, and because, his voice cracked. Because I've spent 22 years building things, companies, buildings, investments, and none of it matters. None of it means anything. The only thing I ever built that mattered, I walked away from. He looked at Emma. Let me try, please, just let me try. Emma's face crumpled. She sank to the floor, and Marcus knelt beside her. Didn't touch her, just sat there while she cried for her mother, for herself, for all the years she spent wondering why she wasn't enough. Morning came slow. Emma fell asleep on the floor. Marcus covered her with a blanket, stayed nearby. When she woke, he had breakfast waiting, nothing fancy, eggs, toast, orange juice. She ate like she hadn't seen food in days. She probably hadn't. I need to make some calls, Marcus said. Get you officially out of the foster system. Make sure the Carters can't touch you. Emma looked up. You can do that? I have lawyers, good ones. She nodded slowly. Over the next few days, Marcus watched her. She didn't talk much, kept to herself, flinched at loud noises, but slowly. She started to relax, started to eat without looking over her shoulder, started to sleep through the night. Dr. Parrish came back, ran tests, said Emma was recovering well. Marcus hired a trauma therapist. Emma went twice a week. He didn't push, didn't ask her to call him dad, didn't expect anything, just let her exist. One evening, 2 weeks after she arrived, Emma found him in his office. He was working, always working. She stood in the doorway. Can I ask you something? She said. Anything. Why did you really leave? Marcus set down his pen, looked at her. I was terrified, he said. My dad left when I was 5. I grew up watching my mom work herself to death trying to keep us fed. I swore I'd never do that. Never bring a kid into the world unless I could give them everything. He paused. When your mom told me she was pregnant, all I saw was my childhood. Poverty, struggle. I thought I was saving you, saving her. I thought if I left, she'd find someone who could actually take care of you. She didn't want someone else. Emma said quietly, she wanted you. I know that now. Emma stepped into the room, sat down across from him. My mom used to say you were the smartest person she ever met. Said you could solve any problem. She was wrong. Maybe, Emma said, or maybe you just solved the wrong problems. Marcus smiled. Sad, small. You sound like her. Good. They sat in silence. Then Emma reached into her pocket, pulled out the locket, held it out. She wanted you to have this back. Marcus stared at it. She told you that before she died. She said if I ever found you, I should give it to you. Said you gave it to her the night you left. Said it was the only thing she had left of you. Marcus took the locket, opened it. Sarah's face stared back. Young, smiling. God, he'd loved her. I'm sorry, he whispered. To Sarah. To Emma, to himself. Emma stood, walked around the desk, and for the first time she hugged him. It was brief, awkward, but it was something. She forgave you. Emma said, I heard her. The night before she died, she was talking to your picture. She said she forgave you. Marcus's eyes burned. I don't deserve that. Probably not, Emma said, but she gave it to you anyway. She pulled back. I'm not her. I'm not that good, but I'm here, and I'm trying. That's all I'm asking. Marcus said. Emma nodded, turned to leave, stopped at the door. Marcus. Yeah, thank you. For the water, she smiled. Small, real, and Marcus understood. She wasn't talking about the water he gave her 2 weeks ago. She was talking about safety, shelter, a place to breathe. She was talking about a second chance 3 months later. Emma enrolled in community college, art classes, just like her mother. Marcus drove her to campus the first day, walked her to the building. You don't have to stay. Emma said, I know, but he waited anyway, watched her walk inside. She looked back once, waved. He waved back that night. They had dinner together, something they did now every night. Emma talked about her classes, her teachers, the girl she met who liked the same music. Marcus listened, really listened, after dinner. Emma pulled out a sketchbook. "I've been working on something," she said. She turned it around. It was a drawing of Sarah, detailed, beautiful, smiling. "It's from memory." Emma said, "I didn't have any pictures, just the one in the locket." Marcus stared at it. "It's perfect," he said. "I'm going to do one of you next." "Why?" Emma shrugged. "Because you're here and that matters." She closed the sketchbook. "I talked to my therapist today about forgiveness." Marcus waited. "I'm not ready yet," Emma said, "to forgive you, not completely. It still hurts. What you did, what I lost because of it, I understand." But Emma continued, "I think I want to try, not for you, for me, because I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of carrying it." She looked at him. "My mom spent 20 years loving a ghost. I don't want to spend 20 years hating one." Marcus's throat tightened. "Take all the time you need." Emma nodded. They sat in comfortable silence. Outside, the sun set over Pasadena. Golden light spilled through the windows. Inside, two people who didn't know each other 3 months ago sat together, father and daughter, broken, healing, finding their way back to something that maybe could have been, and maybe still could be. Marcus looked at the locket on his desk. He'd kept it there. A reminder of Sarah, of his mistakes, of the cost of running, but also of second chances. Of a girl who collapsed outside his gate begging for water, and a man who finally stopped running long enough to see her face. Emma stood. "I'm going to bed." "Good night, Emma." She paused at the door. "Good night, Dad." The word hung in the air. Marcus's breath caught. Emma didn't look back, just walked upstairs, but the word stayed. Dad, not Marcus, not Sir Dad. He sat there for a long time, alone in the big empty mansion that didn't feel quite so empty anymore, and for the first time in 22 years. Marcus Hale cried, not from grief, not from regret, from gratitude, for water on a hot sidewalk, for a locket that survived, for a daughter who gave him a chance he didn't earn, and for the ghost of a woman who loved him enough to forgive him even after he was gone. Outside, the stars came out. Inside, a man who had everything finally understood what it meant to have something worth keeping. If this story moved you, subscribe and visit the channel for more real-life stories like this one.